Okay. I was gonna make a totally different video right now. Got my tea, got my list, and I was gonna talk about Nintendo news and Mario Kart characters and Metroid. Then I saw a video. I like to watch other videos, see what's going on, and I could not stop tapping my feet. I could not sit still. I wanted to get through this video as fast as possible. It was irritating me and annoying me and bugging me, and all I wanted to do was set things straight. Clear the air and let you know what's really going on. This is madness. So here we are. Good morning, Mario. Good morning, Switch fans. And for the first time, good morning, RGT85. Now, me and RGT85 are friendly. I like the guy. I think he likes me. He's a Knicks fan. I'm a Lions fan. We understand each other. But there's something going on right now. Okay. Let me walk it back. Nintendo Switch 2. Right? You know I've covered that a lot. It's been the big topic of conversation this month. There's the leaks, there's the rumors, there's the likelihood that Nintendo is about to drop Mega Bomb, the next iteration, whatever that looks like. Switch Pro, Switch 2, whatever. But I cannot stand what is being said right now and how much attention it's gaining, how much just vibration is around this topic, and how much just there's a theory, and I don't even think the guy believes it. He keeps doubling down, and he doubled down even harder today, and I saw the video and I said no. Normally I don't respond to things, normally I don't do this, but I want you guys to know the right stuff. So this all began with a guy named MVG. Okay, he made a video about how technologically it may not be as easy as people think for the next Switch to be backwards compatible with the current Switch. Fair game. I take no issue with the video. I think he's just presenting an idea, a theory, some intricate knowledge that is helpful. Then RGT made a video about how, hey, this thing probably may not even have backwards compatibility because it doesn't make sense for Nintendo, and all of these reasons, and Mario Kart as one of the pillars of his argument, and this graph that he awesomely does, a Nickelback cover, love it, man, you got the tunes, and I want to do Power Washer Simulator and just wipe away all the BS and give you the truth. RGT is contesting that it's very plausible and maybe even likely that Nintendo does not do backwards compatibility because it would allow them to make more money. Because look what they did with the best-selling Nintendo Switch game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Boom, that thing was on Wii U, but did they make it backwards compatible? No, they put it on Switch, and now today's argument from RGT is that look at what they're doing with the course booster pass. They're adding so much. They're adding 6 more characters, and they're bringing in all these courses. Do you think they're really not going to sell it again? Of course not. And then he's talking about how Furukawa is a different man than Iwata. Iwata is more of a gamer. Furukawa is more about business, and he wants to maximize Switch profits. He goes over this graph that shows Nintendo Switch Online will carry forward, and people assume that means there will be backwards compatibility and a universal compatibility between the Switch and its successor, and he says, no, that's not what that graph means. I want to set this straight piece by piece, and the first one I want to start with is the Mario Kart, and I feel like he knows this, and I feel like he's just doing this to ruffle people's feathers and just get a rise. And that's okay. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. But there is such a Mount Doom, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest difference between Mario Kart 8 on Wii U converted to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch converted to Mario Kart Double Deluxe on Switch 2. Let's just really be logical for a second here. The Wii U was, by all accounts, a failing system. Mario Kart 8 was maybe its crown jewel, but it did not have as much opportunity as many other Nintendo consoles to push a Mario Kart beyond a small install base. So it makes perfect sense that when you're launching a new system, you would want to carry over many of the titles that were great that now have a bigger audience. Let me also remind you that the Switch gimmick allowed you to take Nintendo favorites on the go. And what better way than to take Nintendo favorite Mario Kart on the go and play it online wherever. Now, this was a Mario Kart that was great, but did not get the exposure. And now it's sold 50 million copies. This is not the same. This is not the same. This is not the same. They are expanding Mario Kart 8 Deluxe right now with a course booster pass as a way to get you to buy into Switch Online, as a way to provide extra content before a new Mario Kart. Nintendo will release a Mario Kart 9 on the next system, as indicated by this course booster pass filling the gap. They will not re-release Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because it's a dynamically different situation than with the Wii U. We did not see them re-release games previously when the past system was successful and the game had its opportunity to shine. An install base of 120 million is nearly 10 times the install base of the Wii U. 10 times. The Wii U pushed about 13.5 million units. The Switch, last accounted for, is at 122 million. 10 times. 10 times. There are 3 times more copies of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe than there are Wii U's in people's households. Do you see the difference here? Do you see how this is monumentally, cataclysmically, humongously different, and how the same scenario will not play out? Now let me bring in the other big piece of the puzzle here, which is the difference between what's happening next and what's happening now. The graphical disparity between Wii U and Switch was not that much. So bringing Mario Kart 8 over was like, hey, just come buy this game. The idea for the next Switch system is that the graphics are significantly improved. So graphical patches make sense, but re-releasing the game and redoing things and reselling it for that reason, I mean, we've seen it done elsewhere, but it doesn't really seem to fit into Nintendo's model. Why does it not fit into Nintendo's model? Because it would be a strange thing where instead of leveraging the past install base to move over and buy the new system, you're basically sniping the people in the butt who bought the last system in droves and saying, haha, come buy it again. Remember, the Switch game plan was to reinvigorate all the absentee Nintendo fans who maybe got bored or sat out the Wii U era. So now you're telling me you're going to take Wii U graphics and move them to the Switch and then move them again to the Switch 2, which is supposed to be the first 4K system, but instead of just releasing a graphics patch like normal people would do, you're going to repackage the game, resell it, not remastered because it already exists and is just adding more courses and characters, and now you're going to package it and bundle it and sell it again. I don't even think Nintendo will do a Game of the Year package for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because they want you to buy into their online service, which, boom, brings us to Nickelback, the graph. Now, this graph is being discounted and poo-pooed as just an idea, or Nintendo, the online carrying over, giving no credence to backwards compatibility. But we need to look at the facts and the history. Nintendo has carried over an online infrastructure before, and those systems were backwards compatible. Remember when you could take all of your Wii Virtual Console games to the Wii U? Backwards compatible. Remember when you could take all of your fun DSiWare and move it to the 3DS? Backwards compatible. Remember when you could take all your Wii U games and put them on Switch? Oh, you couldn't because the online infrastructure didn't carry over. It was a new online system, a new medium of game, cartridge versus disc, and a new generation for Nintendo that dramatically changed up the functionality and the gimmick of what the system could do. But Nintendo has evidence that when they're moving to a better hardware, a stronger processing power, better graphics, DS to 3DS, Wii to Wii U, what do? They keep the online consistent and they make the systems backwards compatible. Are you telling me that all of the amazing glory they've achieved with the Nintendo Switch Online is going to carry over? I'm talking about the indie partnerships. I'm talking about the Switch Online numbers. They're going to move all that over. But they're going to say, you know what? If you got DLC, that's not going to carry over because the games aren't backwards compatible. You have to rebuy them. If you got, little downloads here, you got save data, not going to carry over because the games aren't. They're going to carry over Switch Online, which not directly, but implicitly implies that they will have backwards compatibility with the past systems. It all lines up. You do not screw over the massive base and snipe them in the butt by saying you have to rebuy the games. Yeah, that would be more money for Nintendo, but would it really be more money for Nintendo? Because it seems to be accepted that, yeah, Nintendo fans are stupid and just so devoted to this company that we would buy Breath of the Wild again. We'd buy Tears of the Kingdom again. We'd buy Mario Kart again. We'd buy Captain Toad again. We'd buy all of them again. I don't know that we would after this era. The Wii U era, sure. Classic games, sure. But if Nintendo said, you know what? We are so money hungry that we're going to screw over the entire Switch audience that built up the largest Nintendo catalog of games per console that we've seen in such a long time, potentially ever when all is said and done. And we're going to say that your online carries over, but your game saves your DLC and the games themselves, nope. You're telling me they're going to fill this brand new, powerful 4K Switch 2 with all old games. They're going to clutter the brand new exciting Metroid Prime 4s and Mario Kart 9s and Mario Odyssey 2s and beautiful looking games with retreads from the past and or none of them? In fact, I think the backwards compatibility only benefits this in so many ways. It allows you to highlight the difference between what Switch could do and what Switch 2 could do. It allows you to graphically patch Switch games to provide boosted sales for already developed titles. Yes, you're not reselling them, but you can get Animal Crossing into way more hands when you say, hey, not going to be as much object pop-in. 4K visuals making KK Slider looking even swankier. I think there is actually more financial gain in providing a consistent ecosystem that carries over all of your built-up success from the Switch to the next. This isn't even diving into the fact that everything we've seen and heard about the next Switch is iterative. Every rumor is that it's an expansion, an improvement, carrying on the Switch name. Are they really going to have Switch Pro or Super Switch or Switch U and say, but the Switch games will work on the next Switch? It would be stupid for it not. And a lot of people are then using that as the reason that, well, it would be easy and the smart thing to do, so Nintendo won't do it. But I ask you to really evaluate that. I know Nintendo makes some dumb moves. I know sometimes the directs are filled with boneheaded announcements. But for the most part in the Switch era, Nintendo has made a major level up in terms of how they treat their user base. Yeah, sometimes they do us dirty, but a lot of times they do us right. And in a lot of ways, they have built the most consistent, most futuristic for them system and online service that we have seen. And they're very invested in keeping the online numbers where they're at and continuing this indefinitely. The online carries over, but the backwards compatibility does not. Technical limitations or hurdles aside, what do you do with cartridges when you need bigger, better games and more space? That I'm sure they can figure out, and I understand there's legitimate concern there. But to suggest that Nintendo is going to repeat the Wii U to Switch transition when it's a dramatically, entirely, monumentally different situation is just silly. Nintendo is in a position wholly different from where they were with the Wii U. Nintendo is in the position with the Wii. Nintendo is in the position with the DS. What did they do in those positions? You want to go back to history, you better use the right history. Select the right data points. Because with the DS and the Wii, they carried everything over. They carried the online, they carried what you could download, and they carried the games. Compatibility was everything because success led to more success. You do not want success to lead to confusion, upset, disappointment, and disillusionment. Now, the Wii U obviously was not super ultra amazing just because it carried things over, but that was a bit of a different story, and there were many other factors. I don't think Nintendo looks at the Wii U and says, the reason it failed is because it played Wii games too. We won't do that again. Come on now. There are infinitely more reasons for Nintendo to carry things over. There are infinitely more reasons for them to develop a new Mario Kart. And there are infinitely more reasons to keep Mario Kart and the Course Booster Pass tied to Switch Online to continue to incentivize Switch Online expansion pack subscriptions, build out that service, and make it something that does, yes, carry over alongside everything else. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a product of the Wii U's failure. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was a product of a great game, one of the best 2D platformers, never reaching a massive audience. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was an interesting idea that would have found a foothold given a larger user base, but became super niche given 13.5 million Wii U's out there. Things have changed. Things are different. The reason why Wii U games came to Switch no longer applies, and the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro or the Super Switch or the Switcheroo will be backwards compatible with the Switch because it is beneficial to Nintendo, most beneficial to Nintendo in all areas and facets that they care about, including monetarily. Reselling Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does not work in this scenario, in this case, in this climate. Thank you for my TED Talk on why the backwards compatibility fiasco and RGT's newest theory make no sense. Love y'all. Appreciate ya. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. RGT, we should go to Super Nintendo World, have a good time, stop worrying about crazy theories, and just embrace the fact that, yes, Nintendo is everlasting. And even though you say you're not a Nintendo YouTuber, I think you are. You may not call yourself that, but you make a lot of Nintendo videos, and a ton of Nintendo fans like you and look up to you and appreciate you. And I definitely think you're part of the club. It's a fun club. We're happy to have you. Until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. SwitchForce, out.